Welcome to Networks Professionals.
Welcome to today's Explainer. We're embarking on what is honestly the ultimate quest for ambitious IT professionals right now, conquering the Certified Kubernetes Administrator exam, or as you probably know it, the CKA. Now, if you've been anywhere near cloud computing lately, you already know Kubernetes is literally everywhere. But mastering it, earning that official, undisputed badge of honor, well, that's a completely different story. Today, we're going to break down exactly what this beast is, what you need to absolutely defeat it, and why it's one of the highest-paying infrastructure investments you could possibly make for your career.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our step-by-step roadmap for today. First, the Kubernetes gold standard. Second, inside the CKA exam. Third, essential skills and domains. Fourth, your 12-week battle plan. And finally, number 5, the ultimate career payoff.
All right, Section 1, the Kubernetes gold standard.
Think about global tech giants for a second. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, IBM, Oracle, Red Hat, VMware, and Cisco. Along with thousands of other organizations across the planet, they all rely heavily on Kubernetes for container orchestration. We're talking scaling massive applications, handling disaster recovery, and managing critical production deployments. Because Kubernetes is the absolute engine of modern cloud infrastructure, these companies aren't just looking for people who've, heard of it. No way. They are desperately seeking certified administrators. They want the elite, high-demand mechanics who can actually get under the hood and keep these massive engines running smoothly.
And that brings us to the credential itself. The CKA validates your ability to install, configure, manage, troubleshoot, and administer Kubernetes clusters in real-world production environments. This isn't just some random certificate you can print out online. It's jointly developed by the Cloud Native Computing Foundation and the Linux Foundation, the undisputed global leaders in cloud-native tech. Holding this credential is the industry's ultimate proof of mastery, plain and simple.
Moving right along to Section 2, inside the CKA exam.
Now let me ask you a question, and honestly, this addresses the most common assumption beginners have when they look at IT certifications. Is the CKA a multiple-choice exam? Can you just, memorize a textbook, guess A, B, C, or D, and walk away with a passing grade?
The answer is a hard, absolute no. It is 100% practical. Zero multiple-choice questions. The CKA is entirely performance-based. You'll be sitting in a live, sometimes intentionally broken terminal environment. You're going to have to deploy applications, edit YAML files, bash out kubectl commands, and fix actual broken environments. You're solving real administrative tasks under intense time pressure. You simply can't fake your way through this. You either know how to execute the commands or you don't.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the strict logistics and the investment required for this battle. You have exactly 2 hours to complete these performance-based tasks. It's a fully online and remotely proctored setup, meaning you can take it from a quiet room at home, but someone is actively watching you through your webcam the entire time. The cost in 2026 sits right around $445, and that typically includes one free retake, just in case you stumble on your first try. And once you earn it, that certification is valid for 2 years, which guarantees your skills stay razor-sharp and perfectly aligned with this fast-moving technology.
But here's the specific number you really need to focus on: 66%. That's the minimum score required to pass. Now, because this is entirely hands-on, every single completed task earns you points. And the best part, there is no negative marking. So if you mess up a task, you don't lose the points you've already earned. You just don't get the points for that specific challenge. It's all about how much of that broken cluster you can successfully repair or configure before that 2-hour clock runs out.
Let's jump into Section 3, Essential Skills and Domains.
This is basically your training montage. The exam evaluates your operational skills across some hardcore domains. We're talking cluster architecture and installation, like bootstrapping clusters, workloads and scheduling, services and networking. You absolutely need to master storage and security. And of course, troubleshooting, along with maintenance and monitoring. Think of these as the real-world production crises, like unexpected node failures or DNS routing issues that you are going to learn how to solve.
When we break down the difficulty levels of these areas, a pretty clear trend emerges. Linux and networking, medium. Kubernetes basics, medium to hard. But look at troubleshooting. That is explicitly rated as hard. Troubleshooting is the absolute hardest element of the CKA because it requires deep, practical intuition. You aren't just building something from scratch. You have to dive into someone else's failing configuration and fix it on the fly. Because it tests these practical skills under a ticking clock, the overall exam is, for sure, considered hard.
All right, Section 4, your 12-week battle plan. Let's make this totally achievable. Before you even think about touching a Kubernetes cluster, you absolutely must lay this groundwork. These are your critical prerequisites. Step 1, learn Linux basics. Step 2, master foundational networking concepts. Step 3, understand Docker containers. And Step 4, get very comfortable writing YAML configurations. Seriously, one missing space in your YAML indentation will absolutely ruin your weekend. If you skip these steps, Kubernetes is just going to feel like an alien language.
Chronologically, your study plan is going to build over 12 weeks. During weeks 1 through 4, you're absorbing those fundamentals we just talked about. In weeks 5 through 7, you move into the core components, deploying pods, services, and storage. By weeks 8 through 10, things get advanced. You're tackling security, admin tasks, and that incredibly difficult troubleshooting domain. Finally, weeks 11 and 12 are purely for exam prep, practice labs, mock exams, the whole shebang.
So the crucial point is this: theoretical reading will not save you here. You must practice daily. Get your hands dirty with the kube control command line. You should be living in the official documentation, crushing simulator platforms like Killer SH and Code Cloud, and running local clusters with tools like Minikube. Daily, hands-on practice is your absolute best weapon.
And finally, Section 5, the ultimate career payoff. Let's talk about the reward.
A CKA certification opens doors to some of the most prestigious, highly sought-after job titles in tech today. We're looking at roles like Kubernetes Administrator, DevOps Engineer, Cloud Engineer, Site Reliability Engineer, and Platform Engineer. These professionals are actively hunted by recruiters across massive sectors: finance, healthcare, e-commerce, you name it. They desperately need people who can actually manage their production environments.
And the compensation directly reflects that massive demand. This global salary data proves why this is one of the highest-paying infrastructure investments you can make. In the U.S., average salaries range from $110,000 to $170,000. In Canada, it's $90,000 to $140,000. The U.K. sees $60,000 to £95,000. Australia goes up to $180,000 Australian dollars, and in India, 10 to 30 lakhs per annum. It's incredibly lucrative worldwide.
But if you want to truly maximize your value, look at this comparison. The standalone CKA certification is incredibly powerful, no doubt, but when you combine it with complementary skills like CI/CD automation tools, Terraform, AWS, Azure, or Prometheus, you essentially multiply your value in the DevOps job market. It turns you into a total powerhouse. To summarize the core takeaway from all our source material today, consider this: CKA remains one of the most valuable hands-on certifications available for demonstrating real operational ability. That's the magic phrase right there: real operational ability. When an employer sees CKA on your resume, they know you aren't just a theorist who watched some videos. They know you are a proven operator who can jump into a live terminal and keep their business running. The demand for Kubernetes professionals is only growing as more and more organizations adopt cloud-native architectures. You have the roadmap, you know the commitment required, and you know the massive payoff waiting at the end. So the only question left for you is this: are you ready to build the cloud? Start your 12-week journey today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next.
Thanks for watching.